Welcome back for another video from Ms. Wheelchair America as we're getting to know some of our 18 contestants vying for the title and the national title holder for Ms. Wheelchair America. The competition is happening August 28th through September 3rd in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And right now we're getting to know Ms. Michigan, Jamie Jr. So Jamie, thank you so much for joining us on this feed, getting to chat a little bit. Why don't you introduce yourself and where you're from to our viewers?
Sure. Thanks so much, Chris, for inviting me. My name again is Jamie Jr. I am a native of Detroit, Michigan. I'm a local advocate and activist here. I am the mother to one child who is now 24, which is hard for me to believe because he's 24.
I know time just flies by, doesn't it, right?
Right.
So what was it like? We met back at the state title competition. Bring me back to that time. And what was it like to then hear your name that you were the Ms. Wheelchair Michigan and won the state title?
So at first, I was kind of stuck in a moment of surrealness. I was like, really? After it sunk in that it was me, I was really truly honored to be chosen to represent Michigan in this way, and to be a representative of people with disabilities in this way. Uh, because no one person can represent all people with disabilities, but to be considered uh, to be articulate and special enough to have this honor was just overwhelming for me.
And how has these past few months been for you? What has the experience been like? Getting involved in the community, and hopefully this has been another way to amplify your work in the disability community.
Yes, it actually has been a way to really amplify. It's been wonderful getting to meet people that I probably wouldn't have met in just my everyday goings about life. It's been an honor to talk to folks about the Miss Wheelchair America competition, Miss Wheelchair Michigan, and what it means.
That's great. And so, just to provide some more context to your unique background, in can you share a little bit about why you use a wheelchair?
Sure. So I have cerebral palsy as well as osteoarthritis. I was able to walk limitedly until um, after my son was born. I had some difficulties with the anesthesia. So um, that's when I started to have to depend on a wheelchair more for my mobility. And it's been an eye opening experience for me. And I have to say, it's also let me know how truly strong I am, and how strong a lot of people are that
That's
endure disabilities every day.
Yeah, I've getting to talk with so many of the contestants. I'm learning a lot from them and learning about their perspective and just each person's own individual strengths that they have. And one of the really interesting parts is the platforms that each competitor brings to the table and what they're focusing on. What are you going to be focusing on? Have been this whole few months of it as a state title holder, but now coming to the national stage.
So my platform, Chris, focuses on equity and financial empowerment for individuals and families that are impacted by disability. I think it's truly, truly important that people with disabilities be given the opportunity to have great jobs, to live in affordable, accessible housing in the communities of their choosing, and have access to reliable transportation. I chose to call my platform Right on the Money. I thought it was a nod to the idea of financial empowerment, which is something that I have been passionate about uh, for many, many years. Something interesting about me is for 11 years, I worked as a tax preparer and consultant for one of the big three retail tax firms. And I found that I was seeing a lot of the same people with a lot of the same struggles as far as finances were concerned. And it was troubling to me because a lot of folks were from my community. Then I would see a lot of folks with disabilities that didn't have the knowledge and skill to really maintain their finances and get the access to the things that they needed to really survive in life. Like a lot of folks are not able to get access to uh, accessible housing that's affordable and safe. So, from my time doing taxes and going through that, I decided to volunteer for 2 years in the Financial Corps, which is an AmeriCorps program for a local nonprofit
Mm.
agency. And there I learned some skills to be able to teach financial literacy to individuals that were involved in certain social support programs or crisis management programs.
Hmm.
But during that time, what I found was the materials were not person centered. And when I say not person centered, like they didn't truly, to me, cater themselves to the easily cater themselves to the needs of individuals with disabilities. A lot of it talked about what you can do without getting a second job or saving more money. And for many folks like myself at the time with disabilities, that's not a possibility for us. So, how do we maintain with what we have? How do we secure the resources that we need with what we have? And I saw a spot there, and I saw that the folks that worked around me in this particular nonprofit were very interested to hear my perspective because they were coming across a lot of individuals with disabilities. Some were visible, like mine, but oftentimes they were not.
Mm.
And they would find out through the process, oh, I'm on disability because I lost my job, or I
Mm.
had to, I'm supporting my child with disability. So it's not easy for me to get a second job, or it's not
Hmm.
easy for me to cut back because I'm already living on the margins and edges of what I bring in already. So being able to talk to folks, get their stories, and tailor a lot of the education and the coaching skills that I was given to really focus on individuals with disabilities was really important.
Well, you just sound so passionate, Jamie, about these issues and how you can bring that to the table and why you would make a great national title holder. I can see what the benefits you would have for that. As we wrap up our interview, is there anything that you have learned about yourself or any kind of advice you would give to somebody else who's going through their own journey? Maybe they're thinking about competing with Ms. Wheelchair, or they just had their own injury or illness. What kind of advice would you pass on to somebody?
So the main thing that I would tell them is mindset is everything. If you think that you can achieve something, you can achieve it because you can focus your energy in such that is possible for you. Every small step is a success. That's the advice that I would give.
I like that. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for chatting with us and for sharing a little bit about your story. We're happy to have you here and excited for you on the national competition next week. So once again, this is getting to know some of the contestants from Ms. Wheelchair America. The competition is presented by the Mary Free Bed Guild. You can get involved and watch the final 2 nights of the competition. They will be live streamed on the Mary Free Bed Facebook page, Friday night and Saturday night. Friday night is speech night, and Saturday is the top 5 and the crowning. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos from Ms. Wheelchair America.